what's going on. Well, that is what we are here today to do. It wouldn't make any sense to come here. You're already sitting here. You've already taken up your time. You're out of class. It wouldn't make sense for you to come and sit here and not get anything out of it, right? So you do something, it's always with a purpose. So our purpose today is the purpose of every day at school, is to learn something. Okay, so I want to ask each and every one of you to give your attention to our speaker so you can learn something, that you can take something from this presentation, that when you leave here, you leave a better young man, better young woman. You leave more equipped to handle those decisions that you will, and choices that you will have for the rest of your day, for the rest of your year, for the rest of your life. And y'all are a special group because you're 8th graders. And you're halfway through your 8th grade year, which means next year you're going to be on to the next side. Y'all ready for that? Yeah, well, before you get there, we have to equip you with some tools that you will need, and utmost among those is to make good decisions, okay? So now, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our speaker. His name is Lieutenant Joe Johnson. He's originally from Anderson, South Carolina, currently works for the Rock Hill Police Department with over 25 years of experience. He's just seen it all, he knows a lot. He's a graduate of North Greenville University with an associate's degree in music, Winthrop University with a bachelor's degree in music, as well as a minor in communications with emphasis on broadcasting. Prior to law enforcement career, unknown to most, he actually performed with the Charlotte Philharmonic Symphony, BMC Orchestra, Carolina Youth Symphony, Greenville Symphony, Drum and Bugle Corps, Furman University Marching Band, percussion ensembles, percussion instructor at Fort Mill High, Mooresville High, Forest Hills High, Barnwell High, professional jazz band member of the Tunde Society, Big Brother Big Sister program, and a member of the prestigious Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. During his law enforcement career, he's worked as a correctional officer, training field officer, shift investigator, undercover narcotics officer, detective, training sergeant, hostage negotiator, graduate of the Administrative Officers Management Program, and through NC State University, and currently a patrol lieutenant and motivational speaker. So as you can see, he's done a lot, he's seen a lot, he knows a lot. He's here to share a little bit of his wisdom with you. So please welcome to the stage Lieutenant Joe Johnson.
Y'all doing? Show of hands, how many of y'all glad we got y'all out of class this morning? How many of y'all glad we got y'all out of class? There you go. All right, first I want to say thank you to Mr. Alcala and the Sullivan Middle School staff for having me today. I'm very honored, and I'm very thankful to be given this opportunity to speak to y'all today. So what we're going to talk about today is making good choices, decisions, and the impact of self-control. I'm also going to share a little bit about myself growing up, how I may have had to make some tough decisions growing up. And a little bit later in the presentation, we're going to have a little bit of fun with it, okay? So let's get to it. As far as making good choices, being a small child, our parents made most of our choices for us, right? But as we get older, we started making decisions for ourselves. And what we realize in life is that we're faced with making decisions and choices on an every daily basis. Some of those choices can be easy, like decide what you're going to put on, to go to school in the morning. Now, if you go to a school, obviously, that wears uniforms, that's pretty easy. But as you get a little older, some of those decisions can be a little bit hard for you, okay? And what I mean by that is, that decision could be the decision who to invite to a birthday party. But here's the thing, your mom or your dad says, you can only invite 20 people. And you're like, but Mom, I got 100 friends, how can I only invite 20 people? So you gotta make that decision at that time for who you're gonna invite. It could be Tamisha versus Larry. You got to make that decision, and it gets a little harder for you. When you get a little bit older, As you all, what, 8th grade? Is this 8th grade? Some of y'all are dealing with decisions that are a little bit more difficult, right? And those decisions could be standing by and watching someone get bullied. You got to make a decision what you're going to do about it. Whether you're going to help them or you're going to flee from them. Another difficult decision could be, should I do something that could get myself or one of my friends in trouble? And I know a lot of y'all are probably dealing with that. So why should we make good decisions? Anybody want to take a stab at it? You got to speak up in the back. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say that again. Exactly. Exactly. And thank you for stepping up and being a leader for that, okay? Thank you for giving me that. Another one is influence. This is a good reason as well. As an older brother or sister, which I'm sure some of you all are, you not only have to think about yourself, but you have to think about the other people around you that are looking up to you. Your decisions and your choices can impact everyone around you. You got to always remember, someone is always watching what you do. Okay? They're always watching. So if you're the person that's always kidding around, getting in trouble, causing fights, you got to understand, people watch everything that you do. Does anybody in here have a younger brother or younger sister? Most everybody in here. By them watching what you do, some of y'all play in the band. Anybody play in the band? Some of y'all sing, right? Some of y'all play sports. How many people in here play sports? Okay? Just like you at a young age, people look up to you, even at your age. Think about all these celebrities and these actors and these singers. A lot of people your age look up to these people, and some of y'all emulate what they do. They can wear something, you try to wear it. They can say something, you try to say it, or talk like that. Okay? Just always remember, people are always watching what you do. So you have to ask yourself, will my decision have a positive or negative impact on the others? Am I setting a good example? Another part of influence, I'll tell you a little bit of a story about myself. As far as influence is concerned, I was the first person on my mom's side of the family to go to college. So given that, I knew that all eyes were on me. And they were on me because I had to make sure I influenced others to go to college in my family. And some of them you just couldn't do anything with them. They're just not going to go. But they're not going to do right. But for the ones that were going to go to college, I had to make sure I watched everything I do. So you're talking about a kid that grew up very poor. We didn't know that we were poor at the time because of things that my mom, dad, my grandmother, and everything gave us. But we were very, very, very poor. For example, my grandmother kept us while we were in school, and my mom and dad worked. When I was there at my grandmother's house, I used to shoot rats in her kitchen. And I'm not talking about mice. I'm talking about rats, big field rats, huge ones. They were the size of probably some of the cats. She had like 3 cats in the house. And the cats were afraid of the rats. So I used to sit there with the BB gun and try to kill them. It was infested with rats. I mean, you could count 20 rats or more at one time at night coming out to feed on the little crumbs that we had. So I'd sit there and shoot them with the BB gun, they look at me like I'm crazy. They're like, the BB hit them, they're like, come on, man, what you doing? And then they go back to doing what they're doing. The roaches were so bad in my grandmother's house growing up, I used to take roaches to school with me. It's true. I had a little girlfriend in the ninth, I'll never forget it, in the 9th grade. My girlfriend, we'd have to show up in the cafeteria. We get to the cafeteria and I meet her up there. We met up every morning. And I'm sitting there chilling, right? She's sitting across from me and I'm sitting there like, hey baby, how you doing? And she's like, I'm fine. Like, all right, you're looking good today. As soon as I say you're looking good, guess what? A roach come right out of my book bag. Embarrassed the heck out of me, right? We were watching TV one night in my grandmother's house. All into the TV. Next thing we know, we hear a spoon hit the sink. We're so used to it, so we just saying, I guess the rats just finished eating. It was terrible. We used to raise hogs. My grandmother used to have raised hogs. And that was a form of what we, had to eat. We had to kill the hogs to eat. And they would get out, and we'd have to chase them at least half a mile, maybe a mile away in the woods to bring them back to our house. So growing up in those conditions, I knew my influence, I had to make, by influence, I had to make it in order to inspire some of my relatives to make it as well, as far as going to college. My influence kept me out of trouble when I was in school, especially in your age, when a lot of my friends were getting in trouble. They were wanting to fight. So being the first to go to college, like I said, my biggest goal was to keep my head on straight so I can influence the others that were coming behind me. And you have to realize your life is an open book. And someone is always reading that book. Always. People pay attention to every single thing that you do. You may not think that they do, but they do. So if you're always the person, like I said earlier, always getting into a fight at school, you might think it's cute that you're fighting someone over something stupid, but it's not. You're always the one that's always talking back to the teacher, getting in trouble for talking back to the teacher. You think it's cool, but what you don't realize is you're talking back to the teacher, you're getting in trouble, you're showing out in front of your friends. When you do get in trouble and the police get involved, you get up to the station, where your friends at that was laughing at you? Or laughing with you? What are you at? You're up there by yourself. And most times you're sitting up there, I want to go home. That's what we get. But we never get your friends up there at the station. In the 25 years I've been in law enforcement, I've never seen anyone's friends come up to the police department, so-called have their back. It just don't happen. And when you go to court, guess what? You're in there by yourself. Your friends are nowhere to be found. I promise you, it happens all the time. And you always have to remember, they're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you. Because as soon as you get in trouble, they're going to step away from you. They're going to step back and let you handle that by yourself. And then you're going to become someone that they always laugh at. Okay? So just remember that. You also have to think about the long-term effects of your decision. If you make a bad decision, everything you do can affect you in the long run, one way or the other. Okay? So let's take that decision to fight someone. You decide you're big and bad, but you want to get down and dirty with someone over a fight, which really ain't nothing, especially at your age. You're probably fighting about somebody said something to you, which really don't matter. but you can just blow it off and just walk away. Or you decide you're going to walk away from the fight. And if you decide to fight, that 3-second decision can affect you for a very long time and cause you to get in trouble. And that can be that long-term effect that could happen from the decision that you made. Okay? But if you walked away, what is another long-term effect of it? Another long-term effect could be you ain't got to worry about getting in trouble. You don't have to worry about what somebody says to you as far as, oh, he got in trouble and I'm going to laugh at him. You don't have to worry about that because you chose the higher road to walk away. There's no need to impress your friends by wanting to fight. Because like I said, you get into a fight, your boys or your girls, they're not going to be there for you. You're going to be up there by yourself with mama, crying, and you're going to want to go home. So when you do make bad decisions, you also got to think about living with that regret. And obviously regrets and feeling the sorrows for what you did. When making that bad decision, you also have to realize it as well that just because you make a bad decision, you can recover from it. Good things you can learn from making a bad decision. Okay? So you don't have to say, I wish I didn't do that. I wish I didn't get in the fight with that boy and hurt him or that girl. Or you don't have to say, if I can only tell that person I'm sorry for what I did. Or you can tell someone, I love them instead of, I wish I didn't hurt them. Just remember, you can turn that mistake into something positive by learning from it. And not make that mistake again. And if you do make a bad decision, it doesn't matter what happens to you. What matters is what you're going to do about it. Are you going to always be that person or continue to be that person to make those poor choices? To always get in trouble? Or are you going to do something about it and change your behavior and do something good so that people will respect you? People don't respect someone that always gets in trouble. You might think that they do, but I promise you they don't. Think about all the people that you've seen on television or whatever getting in trouble. You think about it for a little bit. It might be cool for a second, but after a while, you forget about it. And what do we normally do as humans? We remember the good that people do. That stays with us a whole lot longer than something bad. If you're looking for that. Now, if you just constantly look for something bad, yes, it's going to stay with you. Okay? So let's discuss reasons why how making the right decision is more important than what we decide. And that is thinking things through. Can anybody tell me why it's important to think things through? Who wants to step up to it? I thought I saw somebody saying, go ahead. Say again. Exactly. Thank you for stepping up. And another answer to that is you'll make better decisions if you think things through. So let's say that you find some money on the side of the road or in the street, okay? And you decide to keep it. What you're not thinking about is that money could be what? The money could be stolen. But because you decided to keep it for yourself and spend the money on yourself without thinking it through and turning it in, that decision could cause you to get in trouble. And you have to suffer the consequences for it. Or, with you all being in the 8th grade, someone decides that they're going to go to their friend's house after school without telling your parents. You thinking it's innocent, everything's cool, I ain't got to tell my mama, I ain't tell nobody. But what you're not thinking about is the things that come with that decision is the worry that you cause your parents when they don't know where you're at. You don't think about the resources the police department has to put into, or the school, the resources they have to put into to finding you, to explain to your parents where you went when you made that decision to go to your friend's house. And let's just say you get to your friend's house and they're doing something like smoking, and you don't smoke. Think about the consequences you can get into, or the trouble you can get into with your parents with doing it. And it could not just be a cigarette, it could be something worse, some type of drug. You always got to think about those things. Or you choose to play video games when it comes to your education versus doing your homework. Now you have to suffer those consequences. And what? Getting a bad grade when you made that decision not to. And guess what? Your friends are getting their grades and everything in, and they're floating right on by you because of the decision you made. A lot of my friends in high school, they played around. They played around every single day, every week, and they didn't get their work done. And this cost them a chance of getting a scholarship. It cost them a chance of possibly going into the military. You can't just go into the military. You got to have a clean background. You have to have good grades to get into the military. They just don't accept you in. You also have to, based on your decision, accept responsibility for your decision. Once you've made a decision, and let's just say it's a bad decision, you got to be prepared for the consequences of it. When I was in 6th grade, I made a pretty bad decision that I didn't accept responsibility for. We had taken a test, and on the back of the test, I drew a picture of a sucker, a piece of candy, a sucker. My mom got the test maybe a week later, and she asked me, "Why'd you call the teacher a sucker?" I looked at her like I didn't know what she was talking about. Knowing very well, I knew exactly what she was talking about, and I was trying to avoid what? Accepting that responsibility. So she said, "Okay, everything's cool." She let me go back and play with my brothers. So while I'm out there playing, all afternoon to that evening, we ate dinner, supper, whatever we call it, about 6, 7 o'clock. She said, "Come here, boy." She said, "Why did you call that teacher a sucker?" Again, I didn't accept the responsibility of what I did. She said, "Turn around." She tore my butt up. I was like, But think about it. Had I accepted the responsibility of what I've done, there's a possibility I may not have gotten a spanking. Or from where I'm from, we call it a whooping. There's a strong possibility, but I decided not to accept that responsibility. And trust me, I paid for it. Making the right decision can save you time and help you make better use of your resources. And for you, if you have a clear path to your desired outcome, you will accomplish a whole lot more, a whole lot faster. For example, your desire should be able to move to the 9th grade, right? That should be your desire. But some of your friends, relating it back to your school and the work, try to influence you and talk on the phone without getting your work done. But you know you want to get to that next level, to the 9th grade. And you know that your friends that you're in school with, they can easily pass you by and you don't get your work done. Or they try to get you to play basketball instead of studying for that big test. Or work on that project that your teachers want you to work on. If I had done some of the things that my friends did back in school, like sleeping in class, always picking fights with someone, always wanting to fight someone, do something wrong, like that, or skipping school, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't. I didn't want to be like a lot of my friends in school that did all those things I just mentioned. A lot of them have no education. A lot of them are using drugs. And a lot of them, at my age today, are hanging out on the street corners. And I know I don't look it, but I'm 51 years old. I know I look 36, right? Yeah. But the reason why I made those better choices is because my commitment to doing better in life was a whole lot stronger than what theirs were. And for you, by staying focused, this will cause you to do the right thing, get more out of life, and have the resources you need available to you to succeed. So we're going to watch a little video about decisions and choices, and we're going to talk about it after we watch the video. There's a little section there's a little funny. I expect y'all to kind of laugh toward the end, but it's all right. But hopefully we'll get the message of it, okay?